Alright, welcome everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is MurphTurf. This is my playthrough of Torment, Tides, and Numenera. Come, explore this torment with me. So last time I did some cool mine stuff, met these two cool characters. They're pretty awesome. I like them. They're traveling with me. They want to go to different places, but I think Alagurn's makes more sense. I'm gonna go visit some cultists, and not the Order of Truth that Kalistej wants me to visit, but who knows? Maybe I'll get time to visit both of them. I was supposed to use this glass chamber to defeat the evil mind demon that's inside of me, but it's broken. I think I broke it. And I may be the changing god, but I don't think I am. And also tides are a thing that I don't understand yet. Anyway, I'm going around, getting some items, investigating stuff. Tiny, glowing moats float through the interior of this tower. Each one is surrounded by much smaller moats, like thousands of worlds circling their suns. And see, that gives me an N.K. Jemisin vibe, and N.K. Jemisin took a lot of her inspiration from Octavia Butler. I'm just saying, a lot of stuff in this prologue makes me think of Octavia Butler, and that's awesome. The flexible tubes that are attached to this machine appear to be later additions. Someone cobbled this device together, but its function is unclear. Well, that's interesting.
Of course.
Right, I'm gonna interact with the glass coffin, see what it's got for me. Ooh, uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Sunlight falls through the ragged hole in the roof onto the shattered resonance chamber. It is hard to believe that you did this, that you plummeted through the curve of the pale blue sky, crashed through the dome, and broke this delicate machine with your own body. It is hard to believe that you are still alive. 4 mechanical arms hang over the center of the device above the cracked, semi-transparent crystal of the sarcophagus. The 5th arm lies broken on the floor among the scattered synth and crystal shards, and a metal ring surrounds the array, dented and broken by your impact crater. Huh, not much of a crater. I don't think I really need to examine anything right now. I'm gonna step away from the device. I can come back to it after I learn some more. I'm gonna go to my inventory. Your inventory lets you view, equip, and manage items and stuff you find. Cool. The first is equipment, which contains any items equipped to the current character. Equipment includes melee and ranged weapons, shields, armor, ornaments such as rings and ambulance, and bonded items. Your backpack contains the items being carried by the current character. You can equip, inspect, or transfer. Quest items contains any special items required for quests. The final section shows the ciphers that you are carrying and your cipher limit. That's what I was interested in. Ciphers seem like cool tools. Ciphers shown in the inner rings are highlighted in blue and are safe to carry. Those in the outer ring, highlighted in orange, are over your cipher limit and inflict negative effects as long as you're carrying them. You can use, sell, discard, or transfer them to another party member to go back under your cipher limit. Ah, cool. Don't really understand exactly how that works, but cool. Currently have 3 cipher limits. These aren't ciphers. I have an encephalic rush. Heals 3 points of intellect. Nice. I can inject myself with stuff to make me smarter. And Fleetwood Moss, which heals 3 points of speed. Cool. Can you guys go anywhere? Nope, just stay in my backpack. Got it. Using an unarmed attack. Alright. Nifty. Good to know. How about you, my friend? What have you got? Anything neat? Nope. Nothing. But you got a 5 cipher limit. That's cool. You also have a 3 cipher limit. You're smart. You're not very strong. You're using a buzzer, a light ranged weapon. Huh. Interesting. You've got might and intellect but no speed. You've got no might, little speed, and lots of intellect, and my intellect is just about spent. I probably need to rest soon. Would be my guess. Is there a rest? I'm actually not sure. Character abilities, items. Alright, looks like I'm just gonna head on my way. On it. Alright, so I'll be completely honest. There is one minor spoiler that I have. Oh, sure. That sounds like a good idea. Anyway, there is one minor spoiler that I have, and that is that after this area, in the 3rd area I get to, there is a woman who gives me a quest in the southeast corner of the map. And this quest leads me to a character written by Patrick Rothfuss, who is one of my all-time favorite authors. And that's where I'm going to be going soon. But first, Alagurn.
This is the reef of fallen worlds, kid.
Cool.
It's a dangerous place at the best of times. And with you lighting up the sky as you fell, well, we should get out of here as soon as possible.
That makes sense. The Reef of Fallen Worlds. Why were you looking at me when you said that? I wasn't, he growls. Don't be so paranoid. But when she isn't looking, he raises his eyebrows at you knowingly. Huh. What makes the reef so dangerous? The Numenera of the past are always dangerous, but there are other dangers too. Some closer than others. Scan thoughts. I hate to think what Castellage would do to her if I weren't here. They don't trust each other at all. Huh. What are the Numenera? You want me to tell you? He laughs without mirth. The Numenera are all around you. Everything left over from the prior worlds. Sagus Cliffs thrives by trading artifacts from ancient civilizations. Hells, you can't scoop a handful of earth without finding drit from prior worlds mixed with it. Numenera is anything from the prior worlds, but mostly we mean the stuff of value to us. A lot of the Numenera are just oddities, fancy trinkets with little real use, but sometimes you'll get a cipher that lets you do something incredible. Artifacts are worth even more. A cipher will only do something once, but artifacts last a lot longer, though they can burn out at the most inconvenient times. He frowns. Not that it's ever happened to me. Of course, we've got no idea what most of this junk was originally intended for. In most cases, it doesn't really matter. Like, you might find what used to be a propulsion unit for a star chariot, but who the hell knows enough to build you the rest of it? Better to use it as a weapon or a power source. He scowls, frustrated about something. I bet we could remake the world if we knew a tenth of the secrets of the ancients, but most days it's a challenge just to survive. This is one of those worlds where everything was better a long time ago. Those worlds always frustrate me a little bit, because it doesn't seem to be how the world actually works. Like, at all. This is one of the things that, as much as I love Warhammer 40k, always frustrated me about Warhammer 40k, is that everything is ridiculously stagnant and humanity is never growing ever again because it's completely mired in religion and authoritarianism. And yes, those things are terrible and present great obstacles. But if you look at the history of the world, there's never been a time where we've lost so much technology that we, like, regressed into a prior state of technological advancement and viewed, like, ancient creatures as wondrous members of something or other. I mean, I guess you could look at the pyramids and say that, yeah, they were more advanced than the medieval castles, but also nobody in, like, medieval Egypt or the Muslim world at that point, or medieval Europe, was trying to build pyramids. There was no point to them. And I know you could reference the Dark Ages, but the Dark Ages were only dark for Europe. The rest of the world, pretty cool advances were happening. Like, for example, it was the Golden Age of Islam during that point in time, and the Golden Age of Islam was pretty freaking great. Anyway, what's your story? Ask me again when we get out of here. I don't trust this damned reef any more than the company we keep. What do you think of Calistege? A parasite disguised as a Scholarch. Don't be surprised if she betrays you before the day is done. Actually, that would be slow for her. Can you tell me about your tattoos? They look almost alive. These? They're nothing. Call them a consolation if you must. He smiles grimly. Some call them by worse names, but that's because they've had occasion to run afoul of these little snakes. He looks away. This line of questioning is clearly at an end. Scan thoughts, my gift and curse. They remind me of it every day. What do you think we should do next? You want to fix that crystal chamber back there, yeah? First step is getting out of this reef. Alright, let's keep going. About time.
Go.
That's fair. Ooh, what are you? Glowy purple thingies that look like jewels? Two floating cones whirl and spin deliriously around each other, giggling like children being tickled. The air around them smells of sweet, burning leaves. Watch them for patterns. The longer you stare at these artifacts, the more you're convinced that they turn faster when their spiraling paths cross each other. What are you? The cones continue whirling and laughing like enraptured dancers, giving no sign that they've heard you. What are you for? The cones greet your question with a split second of hushed silence, followed by delighted peals of helpless giggling. They aren't for anything. They're from one of the worlds before this one. Allergan rubs a hand along his stubble jaw. Sometimes the Numenera will do something useful. Sometimes they'll turn you inside out. Sometimes they don't do a damn thing that makes sense. I've often said the same thing about you, darling, Kalistej murmurs. I'm gonna try to touch a cone. If you select a companion's portrait in the effort window, you can assist the last cast-off with some challenges. Your companion stat pools are used instead of your own, and they may have different skills, abilities, and statistics. Companions cannot assist in a crisis and can only use their stats during their turn. Okay. A 100% chance, a 90% chance. I'm okay with a 90% chance. Yay, I did it! You managed to graze one of them with the tip of your finger. Wherin, a voice says, and your vision is stolen from you. A moon hangs over you, but it is not the one you recognize. It's black and in a pearl white sky. Thick, flat asteroids orbit it like petals in the wind. You feel questing tendrils at your ankle, and the hot wind on your face smells of scorched hair and grief. Your vision returns. The cones hang motionless for only a second before resuming their giggling dance. Try speaking to the cones again? Childlike laughter is their only response. Huh. It's kind of creepy. Alright, what's up here?
Yes, now.
Examine. A yawning intake marks the front of a long-dead construct. Inside, the metal is pitted, black, and ancient. What's this? Although this cube hovers in the air, you can feel the ground shudder with its vibrations. Whoa, that's intense. Whoa. Crossing a, like, energy bridge? Oh. Hello? Okay, these must be the people they warned me about. My intellect is almost gone. This is not good. As you step onto what looks like the back of an enormous construct, 4 strangers approach you. In the lead is a wiry man with parallel scars running from cheek to collarbone on the left side of his face. He gives you a welcoming smile, pulling on gray gloves embedded with pulsing lights. He's about to say something when he notices Kalistej. Scan thoughts. She's the star, she came out of it. But what does Cal have to do with this? Cal! I thought you'd sworn off trawling the reef. Found anything tasty? His eyes travel up and down both you and Aligern. Odds and ends, Koro. Nothing that would interest you, I'm sure. Her words are calm, but she has gone quite still. Scan thoughts. What is he doing here? He has something up his sleeve, I know it. Let Koro and Kalistej talk. Koro, his hand curls into a fist at his side. I was wondering specifically if you had seen a falling star that landed near here not long ago. I've seen nothing of the sort, dear Koro. Her lips close thinly. Oh, she's not doing good at this at all. What about your friends? He turns to you. I know most of the draft that scavenges the reef these days. It's a rare pleasure to see a new face. Nice scars. Alright, so what can I do? I can ask him some questions. I can tell him the truth. That seems like a bad idea. I can tell him to move. Where did this star land? Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be reduced to harassing noble travelers. I never saw it, you see. My employer did and thought, who is the most trustworthy team I can send at a moment's notice? He winks. Luckily, they were on another assignment. We were interested and weren't too drunk yet, so... What interests you about this star? How kind of you to ask, Koro says, clapping his gloved hands together. So few people are interested in the tangled motivations of paid explorers. He spreads his arms as if holding the sky and continues. The world is littered with ruins and fascinating secrets. Trouble is, anyone can claim them. But when something falls from the sky, that's rarer. And a man can make his name off of such a find. He pauses, then adds, we're also being paid quite handsomely. That helps. Enough chat, I think, he says, and there is no humor in his smile now. Where's the falling star? Lots of different options. I'm going to try to keep asking him questions, though. What are the gloves for? Unwelcome but anticipated complications. He does not elaborate. He does so love his ambushes. Kalistej whispers in your ear again, even though her mouth is closed and she isn't looking at you. He didn't have the gloves when I knew him last, but I'd wager they're connected to devices in the area. So, Koro says, apparently unaware of Kalistej's interruption, the star! Have you seen it? Nice scars. How'd you get them? Two things are more dangerous than death in this world, he says, his smile widening. Asking impolite questions of strangers and playing with Numenera you don't fully understand. My error was in the latter category, and I've grown more careful since. Alright. So what's left is the truth. I fell from the sky, there was no star, which seems like it would probably result in a fight. And I don't know if I'm ready for a fight. I don't have a lot of intellect left to shoot my intellect beams. There's also deceptions. I'm also here for the star. I'll be honest with you, I saw the star, but don't know where it landed. Or I can threaten him. I'm gonna try a deception. Oh no, it's intellect. Alright, I'm gonna use Calistej for this. She has a lot of intellect. Yes, she succeeded. Koro studies you for a long moment before sighing. Alright, he says. Well, do let us know if you spot anything of interest. I'd like to say we'd pay for the privilege, but if we were rich, we wouldn't be down here, would we? Scan thoughts. If she's not telling the truth, then she's a fantastic liar. Guess I was wrong. Gain 25 XP. Awesome. Bye, friends. See you later. Nice thinking, kid. That would have been a fiasco. You figured out why they were here, right? Scan thoughts. I knew I couldn't trust Calistej. This is the last time I make that mistake. They saw me fall from the sky and came to investigate. Oh, sure. And they just had that ambush ready to go at the same time as we're leaving. No, kid. Calistej sold us out. Excuse me. Are you suggesting I had something to do with Koro's plans? Scan thoughts. Oh, I cannot abide his rabid paranoia a moment longer. Are you suggesting you didn't? An old friend of yours just happens to be waiting for us, armed and outnumbering us, and we return from the greatest find the reef has seen in years? It's too convenient for me, too convenient by far. I can see why. Of all the idiotic, paranoid delusions, you really believe this, don't you? You really believe I'd use a half-wit like Koro to stab you in the back, rather than do it myself? You see, kid? She'll stab you in the back, first chance she gets. Most likely in your sleep. He throws up a hand, forestalling Calistej's retort. Look, I don't care. Fact is, I can't trust you anymore, and I wonder why I ever did. This is the last we travel together. I've got enough to worry about without having to watch my back 28 hours a day. He turns to you. You coming, kid, or what? I can say, Alagern, I really don't think she was trying to betray us. Calistej, it was a little convenient. Or, you're really going to walk away from each other over this? No, if he really thinks that she was betraying him, I can understand why he would. So I'm going to go with Alagern. I really don't think she was trying to betray us. He snorts bitter laughter. I do. You haven't seen 1/10 of her depths. Not 1/20th. She's a backstabbing bitch, mark my words. You are insufferable to the end, Alagern. Looking for the worst in a situation is the only way you know to see. Do you know how long I've carried your pain for you? How much I've had to turn away from your judgmental stares? But you're right. I've had enough. She turns to you. Child, I am happy to guide you, but I will not walk another step with this paranoid buffoon. Finally, something we agree on, he growls. Kid, she'll chop off your head and spit down your throat. I'll get you where you need to go and let you sleep at night to boot. It's up to you. Here's the thing. I like Calistej. I'd actually rather travel with Calistej. But I'd much rather go to Alagorn's cultists than Calistej's Order of Truth. I think that's where I am. I'm going to ask why I can't travel with both of them. Can't you just work it out? She bursts out laughing. My dear girl, we have been working it out. Alagorn's petulance, his obstinacy in the face of fact, drive me away every day. He might be strong, but he's also thick. I dare you to try traveling with him and see how long you endure. Not as long as I have, I'll wager. His face darkens under her accusations, but he manages a pained smile. As if you're doing me a favor by staying with me? Do you think I don't see your true self in all those echoes around you? That's you, Calistej, every facet of it. Your vivisectionist's heart hasn't changed, just the way you present it. I thought I could help you, but... Aw, man. I really like, though, that they clearly have a massive history, and, like, it just so happens that it's coming to a head while you, the cast-off, is present. Yeah, I really like Kalistej, but I need a warrior, and also Alagern wants to take me to the place that I want to go. I don't trust the Order of Truth. Barely trust the cultists either, but I really don't trust the Order of Truth, so I'm gonna go with
As you
Alagern.
wish. Should you change your mind, I'll be at the Order of Truth. But don't bring the complainer.
Okay.
A farewell to you, child, and best of luck. You'll need it.
Ah, her voice sounds kind of like a Krogan. It's kind of cool. And good riddance! He gestures towards the stair. Come on, whatever answers exist are up there. We'll find what you're looking for, what both of us are looking for. Aw, man. Now that you've dealt with Koro and his goons, you can continue on to the city of Sage's Cliffs. To reach the city, cross the bridge at the north end of the platform. Cool. But there's a part I haven't explored yet. Going down. Going down, going down. Running along. I love the designs in this world. Ooh, what's this thing? Looks like a Necron artifact. A matte black obelisk floats in midair above the water. It has sharp, curved sides that converge to a glowing tip that brightens or dims with the passing of the bay's faint breezes. I'm gonna lean out and touch it, because I'm curious. You raise your hand towards the obelisk. Dull green light wells from within the black stone, fixed on you like a furious eye. I knew someone who did what you're about to do, Alagrin says casually. Aeon Priest. A beam came out of the top of that thing and ripped his face off. Made a fancy nightlight out of his crystal necklace, though. But hey, I'm sure you know what you're doing. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Once again, a dull, malevolent light blooms from the obelisk as you extend your hand towards it. Quick fingers yank your hand away from the obelisk. I can only get up to a 75% chance, but I'm gonna try it. Oh no, I failed! Oh darn, I didn't read it. Ow. Oop, I think I died. When the light fades, you are utterly gone, burnt to an ash too fine to be seen amidst the drift of the ninth world. For a time, your tale lingers as a lesson in foolhardiness, but alas, even among the reckless, you prove unremarkable. Aww. Aw, I'm all the way back here. I'm gonna have to learn to save. Okay, hold on. Do. Options. Quick save. Controls. Highlight, pause. Quick save. F5. Is Q being used for anything? I really prefer Q for quick save. Nope, Q's not being used for anything. Quick save. Q. Save and close. Alright, cool. Got it. Gonna have to quick save a lot, even though I'm not supposed to, like, have permadeath in this game or something like that. I don't know.
I need to talk to you.
Alright. Alright,
This is the reef of fallen
we already
worlds,
did all
kid.
this, so I'm gonna go through it
It's a
quickly.
dangerous place at the best of times.
Ooh.
And with you lighting up the sky as you fell, well, we should get out of here as soon as possible.
Do. Alright, let's keep going.
Natural.
And this time, I'm gonna interact with these things, do the thing, talk to them. Watch them for patterns. Touch a cone as it passes. Cool. Succeeded. Got 2 XP. Leave the cones alone. Alright, now I'm going to try this one again. But first, I'm going to quick save.
All right.
Lean out to touch the obelisk. Alagrin gives me a warning. Oh, Castellege says something now. Oh, hush! At least that poor priest died in service of his curiosity rather than stumbling about the coast complaining and feeling sorry for himself. Ouch. Go ahead if you must, she tells you, ignoring Alagrin's glare, but do be careful. Reach out and touch the obelisk again. Yank my hand back from the obelisk. Gonna put all my effort into it. Yay! I did it this time! A beam of light streaks from the tip of the obelisk towards your hand, but you are faster, and it passes within a hair of your tingling fingertips. As you watch the obelisk for any further signs of danger, the glow fades. Allegern lets out a low, appreciative whistle. You don't see people dodge light every day. Oh man, guess I don't have anything that it does. Alright, that's fine. Time to leave. Gonna go through this conversation again. Do. And the villains. Sorry we have to go through all this again, everybody. Promise it'll be over soon. And I will start quick saving a lot. I'm gonna try to choose the same choices. Do. Talk. I saw the star, don't know where it landed. I don't have any intellect left. I'm going to use my friend and succeed. Excellent with my deception. And they're going to leave. And then I'm going to have to break up with Calistege, as much as I like her. They saw me fall from the sky and came to investigate. Allegern, I really don't think she was trying to betray us. Why can't I travel with both of you? Can't you just work it out? They've been working it out. I'll go with Allegern.
Should you change your mind, I'll be at the order of truth. But don't bring the complainer. A farewell to you, child, and best of luck. You'll need it.
Alright, let's go.
Yes.
Let's go get that quest to get Patrick Rothfuss's person. I'm excited. Also, how on earth do I get my stats back? I feel like I have to rest, but there hasn't been a rest option so far. Applying effort on attacks is critical to success in crises, but be careful not to drain your pools too quickly. You're darn right about that. Hey there, person. Let's get you to the cult of the Changing God. They're encamped by the clock in the great square here. Oh, they have a camp? Okay. Quick save.
Fine.
Alright, I'm going to the southeast corner to get the quest I want, and I swear this is the only spoiler. Whoa. That's a lot of people. Alright, I want to see what's going on here. Hey, Otero, you have a name. What's going on? Wind spins off to the distant sea, sweeping between you and the boy, whistling up toward the peaks of Sagus Cliffs. He glances at you, then at the crowds in the plaza beyond. He appears to be looking for someone. Would she have come into the city? Doesn't seem like her kind of play, but... Saw you wandering down in the reef, he says. Did you get to that star before the others did? He looks back at your face and grins. Guess not. That ain't a face that's found a good pick. I can call him rude. I can tell him I was the falling star, or I can tell him a lot of people went looking for it. A lot of people went looking for the star, did they? Nah, not too many. Gotta be a cocker to go down to the reef. That place is haunted. Oh, I raised my blue tide. But despite his hard words, his eyes settle on yours, studying, deciding. His mouth settles into an irritated line. Look, he says, running a hand over his stubbled scalp. You hide it well, but I can tell you're new here. I ain't trying to offend you, but I don't like leaving folk new to Sagus on their own. If you have questions about the city, or Circus Minor in particular, I'll answer them free of charge. Of course, it looks like you already have a guide, he says, straight-faced to Allegern, although you might be better listening to someone with taste, or anyone else who doesn't think living in the underbelly is a good idea. A little extra advice never hurt anyone, Allegern says placidly. Not everyone likes sleeping under the stars. I like Allegern. He's very, equanimitable. I always forget that word, but it's like, you know, pretty chill. Well, fresh air, the boy replies, grinning. Well, self-respect. Allegern rolls his eyes, but subsides, smiling. Anyway, Otero says, what do you want to know? So we're in Circus Minor now? Yeah, the heart of the city, he says, folding his arms. The levies and politicians will tell you the government square is the center of Sagus Cliffs, but they're not thinking right. He spreads his arms, framing the plaza. When folk come to Sagus, they come here. They talk and trade, flirt and fight, tell stories. Everyone who comes here leaves different. His hands fall. Anyway, what do you want to know? What's happening on that stage? An execution, he says, rolling his eyes. It'll be going on for a few days yet. All those folks think they'll learn great truths from the nightmares of a dying man. He shakes his head. It's not worth my time, but it might be worth yours if you haven't seen one before. Well, that's dark. Does anyone around here know how to fix complex machinery? He says, scanning the plaza. Prada, that's the bug lady in the market. It's pretty good with machines. You might ask her for advice. He rubs the back of his neck. Otherwise, you want to visit the foreman in the underbelly. They might be able to fix it. They could stop fighting long enough. That's some ideas. Alright, bug lady in the plaza or the foreman. What are you doing here, anyway? Just got back from the scrounge, he says. I'm here trading salvo for supplies before I set out again. Enjoying the sights, you know? His eyes sweep the crowds again. Where would she have gone if she came here? And why? That was scanned thoughts. Perception. You can't help notice that he doesn't seem to be enjoying himself. He looks downright unhappy. Guilty, even. Who are you looking for? He flinches, then glares at you. At first, it seems like he's not going to answer. A girl I met a while back, he says at last, looking away. She was new in town, like you. I'm just wondering what happened to her. She's okay. He swallows. Anyway, you have other questions? Scan thoughts. It didn't look like she broke camp. Maybe more like she left in a hurry. Farewell. See you around. Alright. I'll check out that stage in a second. First, I'm gonna go look for the woman who gives me the quest. Oh, hey, there's Prada. And Paja and Kellinor. Oh, man, lots of people. And a merchant, and Zalfi the sculptor, and a merchant. Hey, Prada, who are you? In the shadows cast by the folds of this merchant's cowl, you glimpse hints of verdant chitin and amber mandibles erupting from pale human flesh. Her voluminous robes cannot hide the fact that her movements are off, as if too many joints inhabit too little space. But her voice is a warm, tumbling flood of spoken thoughts and impulses. I like her. She's a bug person. A fair afternoon to you. Warm, isn't it? Something begins humming in one of her many pockets, and her brilliant, multifaceted eyes flicker towards an invisible point in distance. Well, not as warm as it could be, but this is the warmest minute of the week by a considerable margin. She trails off, but the hum continues. Oh, you have one of those tattoos too. Anyway, can I interest you in some prime artifacts, dusty relics, numenera of uncertain origin? Scan thoughts. She looks like that pale woman. No, you're right. Birdie, not looks. Smells. Oh. I can tell her you appear to be transforming into an insect. You appear to be transforming into an insect. I know! Isn't it fantastic? I think it might be caused by the intermingling fields of the numenera I use to organize my thoughts. Or the ones I'm selling. Maybe all of them? You never know how such a variety of ciphers will interact with each other. They are such fun! Haha, this is great. Tell me about the numenera you use to organize your thoughts. Oh, it's simple, sort of. Prada pulls 3 tiny numenera from her robes, a buzzing bird figurine, a green music box, and a circular spring. I have too many thoughts. If I tried to hold them all in one brain, I'd just stand and drool, you know. So each of these have a slightly different purpose. Which one do you want to hear about? The bird figurine. Birdie's pretty simple. If I'm running with a great thought I don't have time to complete, I shunt it into her so I can pick it back up later. She does make everything smell like berries, though. The music box? Oh, Jade Box is a tough old lady. If I'm rolling with a more complex line of thinking, I bring her up and she chomps the individual ideas and feeds them back to me. I try to use her as little as possible because she gives me headaches. No. What's the opposite? Head eases? Prada frowns. Anyway, they're worse than headaches because you can't go around thinking everything's alright. It's bad for your health. I love this game so much. The circular spring? That's Rounda. She's a bit scary. I can shunt a bunch of thoughts into her, but she doesn't process them. She just gives them back to me, slightly changed and infinitely better than when they went in. Prada leans in conspiratorially. I try not to use her much, she whispers. It feels like cheating. Let's talk about something else. I'm looking for someone who can repair a complex machine. Can you help? Oh, I'd love to. Complex machines are my favorite, but... No, I shouldn't. I'm really behind on work orders this month. This may surprise you, but I'm very, very, very easily distracted. She shrugs beneath her robes. You're better off with someone else. Sorry. You said someone else had my tattoo. Who? Oh, right, a pale lady. She wanted me to fix an artifact of hers, but I couldn't make any sense of it. And that is rare, believe me. Prada sighs. I felt sorry for her, to tell you the truth. She seemed sad. Like she'd lost something and was never going to get it back. Scan thoughts. And she wouldn't say what she'd lost when I asked her. I know I could have helped. Well, I think that's all I need from her. Farewell. I like her. Maybe I'll come back and buy things from her later. Right now, I'm trying to find that one character who's going to give me the quest that I want. Slaver, Zalfi the Sculptor. Slavers. This seems like the right place based on what I've heard, but no. I need to get the quest from a woman first. Southeast.
It's a plan.
Maybe she's up here.
On it.
Could also just try talking to everybody. Ooh, the Devourer of Wrongs, Death of Reese and Reese. Oh my god. This looks horrible. Anyway, I'll come back to it later. You fools, you've taken from the trunk of the tree for the house you build in its branches. Huh. That would be pretty foolish. Crier, a levy. I wonder if that means he's a taxman. Not who I'm looking for, though. Oh, this city is gorgeous.
Sure.
Autochron. Looking for a named character, I'd imagine. I was told she was in the southeast corner. Ooh, Changing God cultists. And a Segas town person. Yeah, I'll come back to you guys later.
All right.
Want to find that quest first. I was told it was here. Ah, what is the... Oh my god. Creepy tentacled monster trapped in an electric glowing field. Sure, why not? Oh, no, don't need to talk to that person. Segas town person. Felinda. Steracy. Arms merchant. Traveler. Seer. Otero.
On my way.
Performer. A couple of children. Hello, creepy looking thing. And the genocide. Oh, there's so many great people I'm going to talk to next time. But first, I just want to find my person who's going to give me my quest. It's probably not Felinda. Alright, I'm going to head down here. See if maybe it wouldn't be Paja or Kellinor, would it? Wouldn't be Jerem. Let's try Paja. This couple stands together, their shared gaze fixed away from you. No words pass between them. Instead, they share a silent language of tenderness. Their bodies turn subtly towards each other, forming a private space between them. His hand reaches for hers, and without looking, she claims it. Still looking past you, they smile together. His is a curving line carved in oak. Hers, as unabashed and radiant as a lantern on a starless night. Skin thoughts. He's so beautiful. I do hope we're a good home for him. Paja, turning. You see the object of their attention, a young boy darting between the stalls and playing in the dust. Each distant, exhilarated shout widens their respective smiles and tightens their grip on each other. Is that your son? Yes, he says firmly. He's still watching the boy, but a wary stillness has spilled into his posture. Paja, she swats his shoulder, and there's more punch than playfulness in it. Not yet, she says. We adopted Jerem, and we're waiting to see how he feels about that. Aren't we, Kellinor? His eyes flicker stubbornly, but he does not respond. Scan thoughts. Go away. Go away! What is going on here? I feel like if I'm curious here, I'm going to, like, ruin something, but I really want to know. What brings you here? Jerem likes it, Kellinor says. The stern expression around his stern eyes softens somewhat. We don't have much time between shifts, Paja explains, or money to spend on fripperies, so we bring him to the market when we can and watch him play. It's better than a night at the theater. Kellinor raises their clasped hands and kisses her bruised knuckles. What is going on? Why did you decide to adopt? Smooth, kid. That's just the kind of thing people like talking about with strangers. Thanks, Allegern. You're darn right about that. Oh, I'm not embarrassed, Paja says, eyes gleaming. We love telling the story. Well, Kellinor and I, we've been together for how long? Years, Kellinor says, a glint in his eye. Let's see how long this one lasts. And we knew we wanted children, so we tried and tried. We tried a lot. Some days I barely had time to put my clothes on before Kel took them off again. I think I've heard enough, or interesting. Go on. Paja raises her eyebrows but continues. Well, there was poor Kel practically falling asleep on the shift, forgetting his trousers half the time, and me with nothing to show for it but a glow on my cheeks. Clearly we were working with a barren field. Or faulty seeds, Kellinor adds deadpan. Does run in the family. Aren't you like a tree person? Huh. So we decided to find a child who needed a home rather than getting old trying to make one of our own, Paja says. Did that answer your question? Oh my god, I can ask them for more details. I'm morbidly curious right now. What's going to happen? Oh, I raised Blue Tide again. Ha! Paja says, swatting at you. I like this one, Kel. She hardly blushed at all. She leans in and lowers her voice. We get asked this question a lot, and finally we found that being explicit about the process usually makes the questions just melt away. Huh, okay, cool. I raised my Blue Tide. That's cool.
Go.
Buy and sell used memories, huh? Oh, no. I can't find the person. Well, that's okay. I don't want to just go looking for her super much, so I'm going to check in with my source quickly, and I will see all of you next time on Exploring Torment together. No, you know what? First, I'm going to see what's up with watching that death. Then we will go to next time. Looks like there's a named character right here watching it. It seems like a good place to start. Hey, Tiber. What's going on? Pacing the edges of the crowd is a paunchy old soldier with a swaggering stride. At the moment, however, his jauntiness seems overshadowed by worry, and he alternates between watching the execution and searching the crowd as if looking for a miracle. Then his eyes light on you. I've never seen her face before. This might be just the break I need.
I say, you look like someone who believes in justice. How'd you like to help a poor soul wrongfully condemned?
What kind of help do you need? I don't need anything, but my friend here on the platform is dying. The nightmares of his executioners have induced in him spill from him with every word he speaks, and wrap around him like a snake. He glances at the execution. I know there are but a few strands around him now, but in a few days' time they'll choke the life out of him. I cannot imagine a more horrible way to die. He pauses. Well, that's not true. I have an imagination that would shame a sailor. They're giving him nightmares, causing them to physically manifest, and then choke him to death. Wow. Whoa. He leans in. You'll need to be swift and willing to hold justice above law, but there is a way to save him if you will hear me out. Why is your friend being executed? A misunderstanding, he says, waving a dismissive hand. Reese and I were hired to deliver some expensive brandy to an out-of-town buyer. He breathes a sigh, weighted with disgust and regret. Would you believe that the bottles were stuffed with state secrets? Reese was accused of selling information to the enemies of Sagus Cliffs. They called him a traitor. It was a travesty, he growls, his eyes blazing with righteous fury. The poor lad had no idea what was in there. Tragic, Scan thoughts. Tragic. If he'd known, he might have escaped too. Then we wouldn't be in this mess. But you did, right? Well, he says, studying the air over your shoulder, there's a place for talking about what I know and what I don't. This isn't that place. He clears his throat. Ahem. If you were part of this scheme, why aren't you up there with him? Luck, he says, shrugging. I was taking a piss when they came for him. Went through the back window and scampered up to the roof. He shakes his head. I watched poor Reese being led away from my hiding spot. Swore I'd get him free. I hope it's a promise I can keep. Why are you helping Reese? Is friendship not reason enough? He declares. Then his shoulders sag and he hangs his head. Actually, truth to tell, there's more to it than that. I'm partly to blame for him being up there, and guilt's a strong motivator, eh? Well, at least it's kind of noble still. What's your plan? A simple one, but it requires nerve. Listen, he lowers his voice. It could be nothing for someone of your noble demeanor to masquerade as a city official and ask the council clerk for an archived copy of an old stay of execution. Once you have it, I'll write out a fresh one and add Reese's name. Then we'll present it to the overseer here, and poor Reese will be set free. He spreads his hands. There you have it, a foolproof, risk-free plan. That sounds like an extremely risky plan. Where do I find the council clerk? Would it be simpler to talk to the crowd at the execution, convince them to rise up and free Reese? That sounds like an extremely risky plan. Nonsense, he says, waving a hand. It couldn't be simpler. Just be calm, confident, and wear a winning smile. He gives you a winning smile. I wonder if I'm being scammed here. I hope not. No, I don't really want to try to talk to the crowd and convince them to free Reese. That doesn't seem helpful. Alright, I'll help you. Excellent! Then you will need a proper story and a badge of office. Fortunately, I have the first, and you can buy the second from Strangled, the clothing merchant in Government Square. He folds his arms. Once you have a badge of office, you will tell the council clerk that you are from the Judicial Oversight Committee, looking into corruption and the commutation of capital sentences. The stay you're asking for is that of a notorious gangster named Cole Cardin, who was mysteriously set free a few years ago. When you get Cole's stay of execution, I'll make a copy with Reese's name on it, and you can gift it to the overseer who will free him. You see? Simple! He rubs his hands together. Now, if you'll let me join you, I'd be happy to show you around the city and help you with all this and whatever else you have going. What do you say? Thanks, I could use the help. It'll be my pleasure, but let's hurry. There's not a moment to lose. Reese hasn't much time. Alright, cool. Got this guy. He's got some might, speed, and intellect. Not super strong, but alright. Alright. Well, I'm going to call it quits for today. Thank you all for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a subscription, leave a comment. If you really like the video, I'm also doing a playthrough of Mass Effect Andromeda. That's been a lot of fun. And yeah, I will catch all of you later. Toodles.